Welcome back to Startup 360. We are joined with Shreya Gupta from Australian Coffee Culture. Welcome, Shreya.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here. Very excited.
It's time to grind.
Time to grind. We're just getting all the coffee jokes in.
Oh,
this
you
episode.
betcha.
Excited.
I was just going to make one about beans, but I don't think I will.
It's too early. We'll save that for later. Very interested to hear a little bit about Australian coffee culture and why you started it.
Absolutely. So Australian Coffee Culture is a purpose-driven coffee products company, and we're bringing Australian-grown coffee to the world. People actually don't know Australia grows coffee, and the more we read about it, it just really consumed us. Like, we really got drawn into the stories about the farmers, about the expert roasters, and the coffee culture here in Australia. And then we realized, like, hey, lots of products out there in the market are not very consumer friendly, like they're not healthy products. And we wanted to bring something really good that celebrates Australian grown coffee, as well as the experts here in Australia.
Australian coffee culture almost sounds like a contradiction in terms, but we are pretty obsessed. And there was a story on Startup Daily this week talking about the Sydney versus Melbourne rivalry, which of course is always an argument over better coffee. So I'm just going to straight to it. Where's the coffee better, Sydney or Melbourne?
Oh, that's a tough question. Don't get me into it. I would say Australia
start with a war.
I would say Australia has the best coffee, and that's where we're heading towards.
Amazing.
Now, what is it that you like about it? What, aside from the fact that, yes, there can be some really ethical issues around supply chains in coffee, it's a very long, complex process, and the Australian growers do grow some really interesting, sweet and quite fruity coffees. And there are a couple of regions. One is around Byron Bay in northern New South Wales, and then the other one is up near Cairns on the Atherton Tablelands. And they're very different in personalities. I mean, we also grow tea in those two regions too, just so you know.
Do we?
You get all your caffeine fixes. We don't grow Red Bull.
No Red Bull trees out there.
Haven't got Red Bull trees. You can't bring them into Australia.
Not yet.
But yes, what is it that really drew? Was it the flavour or was it the ethical principles?
I think there are lots of layers to it. And I maybe I could share the story. Last year, when just one day we were having coffee and we're both really big coffee lovers, and we're like, we don't really know where our coffee comes from. And then just jumped on doing some research online and found that Australia grows coffee, and really felt like, okay, if I really know, where my coffee is coming from, it tastes different. It feels more personal. It's a more holistic experience. And then just digging a bit more into the coffee industry, learning all the practices that are there out in the world and what Australian coffee industry has done, mainly Australian grown coffee industry, the farmers, the cleanliness of the coffee. It's really clean coffee. It has, so Australia has bought a really good powder control. So there are no pests around the coffee, so the pesticide free. And it has got this unique terrier around it, and you really see the farms growing the coffee. The farms have been there for multiple generations. So all of these layers really drew us into building something really nice and bringing all this story to people. And we just got very excited about it.
That's great. I feel like there's a lot of probably parallels between like wine and coffee and also those stories. I think the wine industry do a really good job of drawing those together. And your background is in growth, right?
My background is in growth.
So I'm interested to hear, is this something, particularly the storytelling side, is that something that you feel is like a gap in the market and something you're addressing more with Australian coffee culture?
I think yes, for sure. I do believe that in the coffee industry, more and more companies are now owning the story, the origin stories. But the coffee is still coming from so far. It's really hard to touch it, like really hard to experience it. And yes, from my background and from beyond my partner's background, we're both really passionate about building good things and really bringing good stories to the forefront. So yes, that was the driver.
But I'm interested. Surely you could have spent the rest of your life at Deloitte telling everyone else what to do and charging them a fortune for it.
Sort of.
Why the risk of going out on your own in a small business?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I've been in this industry for about 12 years, worked with Deloitte for about 9 years. And I did feel like there was something inside me that was just not happening. I really felt that chaos, that something just needs to come out and I don't have the space. to do enough of it in a tight environment. And yes, for sure, Deloitte's a great place to work, but I did feel like there was a need for me to get out and, get my hands dirty with something.
So how did you make that transition? Was it really just jump off the bridge, or was there help along the way? You and your partner discussed it. What was that moment? Because I know there are some great programs around Australia.
Yep.
Press Play Partners, of course, is one of those, helping women move from corporate life into startup mindset.
I haven't heard of that program, but that would have been really nice.
You have to drink Victorian coffee if you're doing that one.
I will go to Melbourne and let you know when I do. No, I think last year when we were really discussing this business idea, and Bjorn has really good experience into the startup world. So he's done a couple of startups before, and he was with Fishburners as well before. And we just got very passionate about this idea and started doing it. And I was working my full-time job at the same time, and so was he. And then we decided, like, okay, we're going to do this, but we're also having a full-time job. But I think eventually the transition just became very clear. Like, there was a lot of stuff to be done, and it was really getting hard to do 2 full-time jobs all the time. So yeah, we both just took the, leap of faith. We had a lot of support from each other. Like, we really supported each other through really difficult times during this business. But I'm really impressed by the amount of support we have received in the industry. Like, it's incredible how many people have just jumped in to say, like, hey, I want to help you. And, I'm going to help you make this connection. And very early on, we got connected to one of our who's also now one of our board advisors and our industry expert, Gina DiBrita. She's the founder and owner of Numero Uno Roasters.
Okay, yep.
She was named 2019 Coffee Woman of the Year as well. And she has been really incredibly supportive, like motivating us. You guys can really do it. I really believe in your idea, and this is great. So I think a lot of that just gave us validation to keep moving on. Yeah.
Great. I feel like I might be a little bit biased, but the power of community.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's super, super important. I mean, diving back a little bit to your time, obviously at a Big Four, looking at the systems that you use to build $1 billion brand, how is that sort of translated when you're starting off with a brand new product or a brand that doesn't exist yet? Is there any patterns or fundamentals that you see happening at both sides of the business in terms of scale? Or is there anything that, that surprised you starting over from a new brand?
I think starting something from scratch is a completely different ball game. Like, it is a wild, wild adventure. But of course, like, I think my time at Deloitte, and been with EY as well before, but just doing all these consulting work before has built a little bit of strategic mindset where you start analyzing things very, very quickly, and you get good at it over a period of time. And with that experience, you learn to also learn more about people. You just really understand, okay, if I bring this person on board, that's how they can help. And you start seeing the wide gaps very quickly. So I think that strategic mindset really helped. It also helped me boost this quick learning mindset, like just being able to learn and grasp things quickly. But yeah, like with Australian coffee culture, it's been quite wild in the sense, like, it's a products business and it's not that easy. Like, it's got so many layers to it. So there were parts of it that just absolutely shocked us. Like, we're now 16 months into building this, and we wouldn't have known in the beginning that it would take us this long to come here.
Absolutely. I feel like that's always the thing that founders say. It's like, had you known what you know at the beginning, would you have done it again? If you knew what you knew?
Absolutely, I would do it again with a heartbeat. I would do it again and again.
So now that you've gone down this coffee rabbit hole, what's the thing that surprised you about it? Because let's be honest, there are coffee geeks who are totally into it, and they'll talk to you about weights and grinds and the whole nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
But most people is like, I just want a coffee and here's my $5.
Yeah.
Don't keep me waiting and I like it hot.
Yeah, I actually have a point here about that. So what really surprised, so I think we can all learn about coffee very quickly if we want to. That's not a hard thing to do. But the more we learned about this industry, we realized, number one, it's very traditional. It's still very traditional in a lot of senses, in terms of technology, in terms of adoption, but also in terms of vision. For example, I think it is just now that the coffee industry started talking about sustainability and really presses us like, why? I still see out there a lot of coffee businesses are still pouring out iced coffee in the plastic cups, and consumers are just happy to buy it. Like you said, just give me my coffee, $5, I don't care. But I think that's a collective mindset shift that I believe this industry really needs for the future. There's a lot of potential in terms of building circular products in this industry, a lot of potential for regeneration that I think both consumers, founders, as well as people who are invested in the business should start really thinking about, and ask tough questions to each other. Consumers should be asking owners and founders, and likewise, I think founders should feel the responsibility of building products that do not create waste and, can do good for the planet.
Absolutely. If your team, you and Bjorn, and I guess both your backgrounds as well, I feel like even picking up on some of the threads that we've had through this conversation already about the human-centric side of it, or the importance of people around you. And I'm interested to hear, I guess, the lens on that, particularly when you're going in from a strategic perspective. How are you fostering that on your day-to-day basis to make sure you're staying connected, not only with your mission, but also with the human side of it too?
Absolutely. And I think our brand is really powered by human relationships. We are a collective brand. We're not that's why we call it Australian coffee culture. It is not about me or Bjorn or anyone in particular. It's about really bringing people together. And that's why from the very beginning, our main focus has been building really good relationships with the people we want to work with, and with value-aligned people. So we've gone and picked out people who we specifically felt like, oh, we love talking to you. And it's a human relationship. For example, Gina, she's been part of this business from very early on. And then our first farming partner, which is the Skyberry Farms.
Oh, the Skyberry Farms. They're up at Atherton.
They are in Atherton, yes. And oh my God,
this is such a
lovely
plantation tours up there.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Yeah, and the family is amazing. We've been speaking to, they've been so supportive, the whole McLaughlin family and Candy McLaughlin in particular. So just being able to build this ecosystem together has given so much power, but also put this perspective of, being collective and really empowering the whole ecosystem as we move forward.
Great.
You got to meet Rebecca Zenfeld up at Zenfeld's in Byron Bay, who were one of the OGs in the area, and I used to get addicted to their chocolate-coated coffee beans, which are fun.
That sounds
you can
amazing.
just mainline them.
Have to get that in.
But I had to stop.
Cut yourself off.
Too much coffee, too much chocolate. Look what happens. All right, this is all chocolate coffee beans. I'm blaming the guys in Byron for that.
Coffee beans that taste like chocolate,
but flavors. Thinking about it, is there a particular flavor profile that you like?
So I think I'm really interested, the more we're learning about Australian grown coffee, especially the Skyberry coffee and what we've brought to the table. And Gina has done an incredible job in roasting Skyberry coffee to a very interesting flavor profile, which is, chocolatey. It has got this hazelnut, pack to it, and then a bit herbaceous, fruity side as well. So it's kind of punchy, but not in your face punchy, fruity. So I'm really enjoying that at the moment. And I think every day we're tasting our products. So it's like, oh, loving this more and more, loving this more and more. So yeah.
It's good.
And the other fun part, because I was a big part of this, especially around Byron back then, is the machine harvesting. Australians were working on the harvesting because it's otherwise a manual process.
Yep.
Coffee pickers in other countries do it manually, and then it's all put out in the sun to dry. This is the cherries, and then you dehusk, and it's an amazing process because I think you've got 3 layers to get to the bean. You've got to get the bean dried to a certain point, and then of course the roasting. And if you think about making a good cup of coffee, it's extraordinary because then you've got to decide on the roasting profile to get it right.
Yep.
And then, of course, you have to think about how long it's been sitting around to get maximum flavour. And then you're talking about grind size. And then you're talking about tamp, which is pressing the coffee into the espresso holder. And then brew time. And
Every part of the process makes so much difference
Yeah.
in what you taste. Like before, we didn't know, entering the industry, we're not from the industry. So for us, it was such a steep learning curve that even the grind size or just the roasting temperature could have made so much difference. But I don't know if you know, like the coffee that we've sourced from Skyberry is this particular kind of shade-grown coffee. And it's also the most sustainable kind of coffee because it's not dried through any mechanical process, but it's really, grown under the shade of other big trees. So, for example, Skyberry has a papaya farm. So some of the coffee actually grows under the papaya trees. And it's been like, that's really incredible. That's a story we want to bring to the people, saying you're drinking a very sustainable coffee as well. But it changes the flavor profile too.
it is wild.
Wow.
But there's so many ways it can go wrong. So if you do have a shit cup of coffee, you've got so many ways in the supply chain for it to go pear-shaped.
There you go. I guess that has a greater appreciation for having good coffee then.
Yes, exactly.
I think one of the things we learned in the process was so much of coffee is being shipped from, really far off. And what we learned in the process is that a lot of times coffee is not coming directly to Australia. So it goes through processing centers in, let's say, Europe or something. And a lot of coffee is coming from Sweden, from Germany, where coffee is not even grown. So the coffee has actually traveled from, let's say, Brazil to Europe to Australia. And when the coffee's been sitting in those, tin boxes and so it catches mold. But once you roast the coffee, you actually do not see the mold. You can't taste the mold anymore.
Mycotoxin, it's called, isn't it? I think.
I don't know what it's.
Yeah.
I just know it's a mold.
Yeah.
All I know is I don't have
It is an
enough
issue.
knowledge on coffee, apparently.
Yeah, so the freshness makes a lot of difference to it, as well as the amount of miles you've shipped the coffee. Just to be in a cup, like, you'll be surprised by the amount of carbon footprint that's been generated.
That's amazing. So for particularly you guys, you have ready-to-drink cans.
Yeah.
I'm interested, other than I'm sure having better taste and also being more ethical and better for the people, better for the planet, I'm interested to know, I guess, the state of the current industry in the ready-to-drink space and also your approach to market. How are you kind of differentiating yourself in that sort of regard as well?
Sure, and thanks for asking that question because when we started thinking about what product would make sense, we realized there's a huge gap in the ready-to-drink coffee market in terms of what you see out there is not healthy, it's full of sugar. And a lot of times it's not also coffee. It's very, it's synthetic and no one's really championing coffee. So it's kind of like a caffeine kick. I would say it's, the more we saw the products, we were like, coffee, where's coffee? I want coffee. There's no coffee there. So the clear differentiator for us is, of course, we're bringing Australian grown coffee in a ready to drink can, but it's healthy. It's fully plant-based. It has no nasties in it and absolutely no added sugar. So I would drink that coffee, we want to feel good about drinking something ourselves and that doesn't give you this really burning sensation. So that was a real market gap that we're fulfilling. And in terms of go-to-market, I think we're really trying to target people who love coffee, but also trying to position ourselves as a premium ready-to-drink coffee brand.
The fascinating thing about that, though, is going back to the freshness thing. What did you look for in the flavour? Because cold brew, of course, has become a popular addition to coffee culture in Australia in the last decade or so, but it's still quite niche. So do you think the demand's there rather than just sort of, going to the servo and grabbing your sort of, double shot milk coffee?
Look, I think
in a plastic bottle.
that we absolutely hate. I think Australia has got this really interesting culture of having this warm cup of nice coffee in the morning, and we absolutely do not want to change that. That's something
we invented the flat white.
We're not after. But it's this idea of having a good quality coffee on the go, anytime, anywhere. After sometimes the coffee shops have closed, 2:00, 3:00, and you've got a long day ahead of you. You want to go, or you're driving. So yeah, that's the sort of target for us.
That's a good important gap.
Yeah.
So coffees, cafes, that's my number one trife around all things the 2 o'clock slump, and you look around, there's nowhere to go.
Yep.
I don't know
And
if it's
good
just
coffee, like
Yeah.
what we mean is like good coffee. So yeah, cold brew, it's trending as well. I think it's a big trend, especially with Gen Zs nowadays that they love their cold brews. But as well, like why wouldn't you have a cold brew in a more sustainable format? It's a can that you can 100% fully recycle it. It's not in your plastic cup. So that's the sort of behavioral change and the mindset shift we want to drive towards too.
Cool. So what lessons have you learnt about going into a crowded market with some pretty heavy hitters in it? There's a
Yeah.
certain European company that now dominates the, press a button and out comes coffee.
Yeah.
It must be hard finding your niche, isn't it?
It isn't, because we're not seeing competition here. I think we're learning from everyone, to be honest. We've things to learn from all the big players too. And as well as the idea of building Australian coffee culture is to build an ecosystem. It's a collective effort of a lot of people in the supply chain, a lot of players in the supply chain and people who have, jumped in to support us. So it is hard, I would say. And the only thing we're trying to do is just trying to do things better, trying to build things with a vision, I would say, a vision of building good products for people and for planet as well from the beginning. So it's not a story of sustainability 10 years later down the line. It's a story of building a regenerative company from the very beginning.
That's great.
And making Australian coffee a thing.
A thing, yes, a premium thing,
Yeah.
People need to know.
Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
surprised it doesn't have a more, obviously we're here, we know how much we love it, could be a little biased, but I'm interested to see the global scale of this as well, and I guess making the world love Australian coffee, because, when you're traveling around and maybe you're in the US or even Europe or whatever else, you just want a good coffee.
Yeah.
Is this another area that you feel like you're able to fill with this particular?
We will. And that's on the plan. Like, we want to be able to expand internationally in the future. But as well, like, it's this really, again, just going back to the collective effort. So last year when we were doing our research, there's this incredible report by AgriFutures. I don't know if you know.
Love AgriFutures.
I just love the research they've done, and they've put down everything so clearly. So they've done a lot of research on Australian coffee industry, the grown coffee industry. And there's this incredible thing that it's all about economies of scale. So the current production size is between 300 to 600 tons of coffee from I think around 50 farmers in Australia, which is actually not a lot, considering we are a $3.72 billion industry in Australia. I think that amount of coffee cannot fulfill the whole market or an international expansion. So this idea that the industry really needs people to come in and build that economies of scale is something we're really tapping into. And I think the more we consume Australian grown coffee, the more they'll have the ability to grow the industry, to grow the farms. And I'm hoping eventually in the future you see like Australia's consuming maximum Australian grown coffee, and we're championing in the world as well.
That's great. I love the vision.
AgriFutures did the coffee wheel, actually, with my
Yes.
old alma mater, Southern Cross University,
Southern,
up
yes.
in Lismore.
Dr. Ben Liu.
They put the first coffee wheel together for
Yes.
Australian flavours, because I think its characteristics, one of the notable ones compared to overseas, is low acidity. So it's it gives a very different, unique flavour profile.
Absolutely. It's low acidity. It's also a little bit less in caffeine, but that's
Oh, yeah.
healthy for the body. It's not like, but yeah, it's really healthy for the body.
There you go.
So all those crazy things. Are we good, mate? Okay.
That one just cuts off after half an hour. I just have to reset it.
Oh, okay. Excellent. All right.
Easy.
So solving complex problems is something that you've mentioned that you're quite good at. I'm interested to hear your approach to solving a big complex problem like this, but also managing the day-to-day of running a business. It's a difficult balance. I'm interested to see how you approach that.
Yeah. I think part one of the question, solving complex problem, it's just being creative, right? Like, I genuinely believe that we're all very creative humans, and when we are given a problem, we find a way. As long as we're passionate about solving that particular problem. So for me, my personal approach is just breaking things down and sometimes seeing the bigger picture around the problem rather than getting consumed into the small black holes. And from the for the second question, in terms of the day-to-day life, I think having good support, it's really incredible. So both of us, Bjorn and I, we're very health focused. So we ensure that, health is the main priority. Wake up in the morning, we do our sports, and, have a good breakfast together on the table. That's a thing. Get a good coffee in the morning. Then really slowly start the day and not just keep, start bumping from the very beginning, and end the day similarly, like have a nice dinner at the table together. And
how have you dealt with the work and life partner thing? How do you manage that so that there is some time out, so that you're not sitting there at dinner talking shop or getting up in the morning and talking shop? It's like, and how was your day, darling? Well, you were there for the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a hard thing. But I think both of us have a very similar vision for life. So that has helped a lot. And sometimes we do, it's not that we don't talk about work at the morning breakfast table or dinner table, but we also know our boundaries and we both respect that quite a lot. So, yeah, and we're evolving, honestly. Like, we're learning so much, and this is a very packed, busy period for us, as we're going to launch in about a month. So eventually we'll get to a point where we might, not have to absolutely talk about work at the breakfast table.
So when you launch, where are we going to find it? Do we have to go to Fishies and sort of
Why
give
not?
the secret pass?
They should. I had a taste yesterday.
Yeah.
It's very good.
So we are going to Deep North Festival on 6th of December for promotional launch, where we're bringing some promotional cans. And then after that, our placement strategy is more towards boutique retail. So Harris Farm, Maloney's.
Oh, excellent.
And a lot of it is wellness and health focused as well. So you might find it in, fitness studio. Or a spa studio or something. And some cafes will be hosting us. For example, Gina's Cafe. And of course, you can order it online. And perhaps airport in the future.
Oh,
yeah.
Excellent.
I love that.
Well, you can actually buy the 4-pack and take it overseas.
That
to people.
Exactly. That's sort of
Stock up
like
with
a
the stuff
gifting
that-
lifestyle thing as well.
It'd be one of those products you have to send home to your family overseas because they just want good coffee.
Oh, Vegemite and coffee.
I hope no one asked that. I've been hearing so many
Vegemite
trends.
flavored coffee. There's an idea for you. You can have it
Thank
free.
you. I'll keep that note. But have you heard like this avocado coffee trend? I just absolutely am just
People putting avocado in coffee.
avocado in coffee and just
Is that because they can't afford the toast?
I have no idea.
Yeah, breakfast is getting
The
expensive.
Gen Xers can't afford a house,
Everything
can
two
no
in
longer
one.
afford the avocado
It's not gonna
toast.
be- it's not
just
gonna be
putting it in the
Two
coffee.
in one.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Financial
no.
response.
Toast and coffee together.
No, I have not heard of that. That's
It's just been so many trending things about what people are doing with
Well, what
coffee.
bubbles up? Have you ever had kopi liwak?
no. I don't copy.
What about you?
Have what?
Cat poo coffee.
I've
Civet
heard
coffee.
about it.
I've heard
yes,
of it in
I've
Bali.
heard about it
Good.
a
I've
lot.
had like 3 or 4 friends who have gone and then be like, I've spent way too much money because I wasn't expecting to pay $70 for coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
So
heard
the
a lot
story is it's a
about it.
civet. It eats the coffee beans. Of course, they ferment through the
Digestive
bowel,
tract.
and out the back they come.
You put it really
And then
nice.
you harvest it. And it's a delicacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. I haven't tried it. Maybe
So
I'll.
it's
good
literally
excuse.
shit coffee.
Shit coffee. Good shit coffee.
Good shit coffee.
Good shit coffee.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
cat shit
I
coffee.
just feel sorry for the people who have to not only collect them but get the beans out.
Yeah.
You'd be wearing
It
gloves for
would be
that.
so interesting to. I don't know how they're doing it or processing it, but I don't want to see it.
FMCG is a notoriously tricky type of business. I'm interested to see what challenges you've come across so far,
Yeah.
and how you've been managing, I guess, that more difficult side of the business.
Honestly, like when we started the business, we thought, how hard can it be, And
Doesn't everyone start a business like that?
2 months ago, we were like, remember we said that? How hard can it be?
I think
It
that was
is-
Adam Gilmore at Gilmore Space, wasn't it?
It is hard. It is incredibly hard to. It's got so much layers to it, operational layers in terms of you have to, sourcing the ingredients, sourcing coffee, then processing everything, and we're roasting the coffee in a different facility, so getting it roasted, then doing the formulation was a huge thing for us because we're very particular about what we're putting in the coffee. And we've been working with this incredible scientist from UNSW. His name is Ismat Kabara. It's taken us 6 months to get to a point where we were actually happy with the ingredients. So there's quite interesting like vitamin E and all that sort of stuff in the coffee. And then finding a co-packaging partner, so where we can have a facility. So that took us like from February 2025 to September 2025, just to find like, and there's I think the manufacturing industry itself in Australia is really hard. Like there's not many players out there. So that's why people are shipping things, exporting like the manufacturing part and then shipping it back. But we were very hard bound on finding something here. So someone has stepped up. The new facility down in Victoria, and he's got an incredible background as well. So yeah, it's been quite a lot, to be honest. And then the packaging, getting the branding done, designs, lab testing. So yeah, it's too much stuff. And then you have to do like marketing, you have to do financials, all the tech stuff on the side as well. So it's like, okay, it is hard. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It makes me feel exhausted before I even get up to drink the coffee in the morning.
That's why you need a good
That's
source
why
of
you
energy.
need coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You make coffee and then you drink coffee.
What impact, if you were, at the end of your business journey with this, what mark do you want to have left on the world as a result of the work that you've done with ACC?
That's a big question. And that to sum up in like one thing, it's hard, hey? I think our vision is very clear. Like we want to grow the consumption of Australian grown coffee from 1% in Australia to, a bigger number. So that's something we're absolutely aiming. And I am so, like, we both are so, we have this vision to build like this whole circular economy around the coffee industry. And if there was one big vision, it would be, could Australia be the only nation or the first nation to be, to do circular coffee, to have the circular coffee industry. So yeah, the first nation.
Wow.
Important information. I'm just doing the maths in my head. So if we could double it, because we drink about 6 billion coffees a year here in Australia.
Yeah.
6 billion. So 1%, what's that make it? 60 million or so? So
I think 60 million. Yeah.
So that'll go to 120 million Australian coffees. But the other important thing is coffee grinds, quite good for your compost. Mm-hmm. Very useful on that
There's
front.
so much you could do with, coffee grounds. Like you can grow mushrooms on it. You can make beauty products from it. People are making fertilizers and now concrete materials with it. So there's so much. Like we're really, wow. Even with the shaft, like, and I'm surprised. Like, why hasn't coffee industry thought about this before? I'm really surprised with this.
The one thing you shouldn't do is coffee enemas.
Coffee enemas?
That's such a Byron Bay thing.
Do I want to Google it?
Don't Google coffee enema.
Okay.
And anyone who's watching anything right now, don't Google coffee enema, all right?
I'm going to Google it.
I suppose the main thing is it goes in brown, comes out like that too, but just one of those really weird things that happens with coffee. I really do know way too much that I shouldn't know about coffee.
Is there too much to know?
Oh, my God. But what a brilliant idea, wouldn't it? Just to sort of, 99% of our coffee is imported.
It is.
And we grow it here. Great to have you on the
thanks
show.
so much.
Thanks for joining us on Startup
It was
360.
fun.
And we look forward to the launch. And we probably need some product placement here in the coming weeks. In the
that
lead
would
up
be
to Christmas,
awesome.
We do.
Right?
Absolutely.
And we can sort of have a couple before the show and see if the show speeds up.
I don't think I need to talk any faster.
Come on. No,
right.
it's not that.
All the best with the launch.
Thank
Great
you
to have
so
you
much.
along.
Thanks for having us. And thank you.